Good evening and welcome to Xbox Tavern's X-Pod Tavern, episode 103, I believe, on a wonderful Sunday evening. And what a wonderful intro. Thank you, Ross, for bringing back the dubstep. We all love it. And man who loves it the most, MVP Graham.
Hello.
Hello, did you enjoy that?
No, I didn't. Dubstep sucks balls.
I think you'd love a bit of dubstep. Oh, it's nice to hear that back. And equal fan, Million Man Ian.
That was the greatest intro of all time.
That was perfect. I was explaining to Graham. I was feeling a little bit rough earlier on before we started, but that just perked me right up. 104th, by the way, not 103rd, by the way. Sorry, and Scottish Guy Frost back. Please come in. Hello.
I thought it's 103rd.
You're 100. You're 100. Who knows? Who cares? Whatever dates, numbers, who knows? Whatever's happening is happening. We're here doing a podcast. We're going to talk news, Xbox games, things we played, things we want to play, etc., etc. Let's get into it, gentlemen. I hope you're all well. On Sunday, 8 p.m.
Ish.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not quite feeling right today. So let's get right into it and see if we can perk those happy neurons up even further after some dubstep. And we're going to talk about some wrestling. We like a bit of wrestling here on the Xbox Tavern's X-Pod Tavern. And a new leak has possibly revealed the release date of the new WWE 2K game, as well as the cover start, and you'll never see it coming.
I really thought when that tweet came up and you sent the tweet to us and it was like no media found. I thought, is this the joke or is there something actually gone off?
Yeah, I didn't realize because all right, so we'll get into that. But the gist of it is one of the rumor person, what's his name? I'm not going to read it. Aguilar Illuminate on Twitter. Tweeted a cover image of the cover art featuring the one and only GOAT. Best man in John, and his name is John Cena, as the cover athlete, sports entertainer, whatever you want to call it, for WWE 2K23, which supposedly will be coming out on March the 17th. So that would have been about a year, because I think was the last one last March, was it? Because obviously they had a bit of a break where you usually release it at the end of the year.
March. I think they tried to promote it for Mania, didn't they?
Yeah. So we're supposed to be getting some sort of reveal on the 28th, which is the Royal Rumble, which is this Saturday coming. But at the minute, it looks like this guy sort of got in there before them and gone like, "Here, have John Cena." And I don't know if I'm sure he's been on the cover of it before, but I mean, he's kind of reaching that twilight stage now, and so that's hopefully we'll get some sort of what do they call them, like showcase mode, isn't it?
It's showcase mode.
Have they already? No, they've not announced the showcase one. Do you think he'll be showcased, or do you think he'll just be?
Surely,
100% showcase. The fact that he's had so many brilliant wins over his career. You could do quite a lot with it.
Being the cover star, I mean, Rey Mysterio was last year, and he had that whacking great showcase mode for going through his career. So you'd think Cena would get the same sort of treatment, especially like you said, he was so much. As much as I didn't used to like him, and I'm not really a big fan of early stuff nowadays, he's much more enjoyable, and that's quite. I mean, as long as they get the Firefly Funhouse match in there, I mean,
that would be interesting.
I'm happy, I
think you could quite a lot of stuff, couldn't you? You could have his Royal Rumble return, loads of 2 Rock Mania matches. That's comes to start
once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime.
And what's he 16-time champ?
What's it called? The United States Championship. What's it called? Open Challenge.
Yeah. We brought in. That was when Kevin Owens came in, wasn't it, and beat him on this.
The whole Nexus storyline against CM Punk. There's loads.
He's showing up with his ruthless aggression with Kurt Angle.
Yeah. That's all we need. We just need an extended Firefly Funhouse match just over his entire career again. Brilliant. Obviously, Graham's a massive John Cena fan. I know that's great. Your opinions on John Cena being a cover athlete? Any matches you'd like to see in the showcase mode? Any John Cena perks you'd like to get from this new game that's coming out in March?
Well, I need to stay true to his bloody slogan and wish I could see less of him. on there. So,
Aw.
you can't see me. I'd rather not see him on the game or the cover. Yeah, that's
But
how
If you buy
I.
the Super Deluxe edition, you get his original US title spinner belt. Comes with it.
That'd be nice, you know.
I'd be like, pride of place, just right there.
Speechless.
Yeah, right behind.
They need to do. I'm sure. Yeah, they need to do some sort of like it's extra limited edition. Where it's like 100 copies, and it's literally just a blank face, like a blank cover.
Yeah, nothing there.
Yes.
But you can't see him edition. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be many jokes about that. But again, it's supposed to be revealed on the 28th of January, next Saturday. Like a big advert, Royal Rumble. The 2K appeared to be taking down all the images and tweets about it. So obviously, it must be real because otherwise they wouldn't bother, really, would they?
No, they'll just shut it down, saying no, that's not the cover.
Yeah. So last year's one was massively improved. I haven't really had a chance to dig into it much since I got it just before Christmas. But have you been playing it in? Because I know you picked up a while ago.
Yeah, I picked a while ago. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. The kind of like the customization mode was quite thorough and much better than previous years. Obviously, there's less glitches as well per se compared to other years, so that's always nice. The career mode got a bit stale after a while, but hopefully they can improve on that a bit more.
Yeah, have some rock dropping some things on people's heads and stuff. Yeah, what about you, Ross? Have you played much of it? Last year's one, I should say.
I can't remember. Is this the first year that they came back? 2022.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one.
yeah,
yeah.
Rey Mysterio showcase mode. Was it Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio? Yeah, it was.
This is the one I picked up. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like massive improvement over the ones that I played, like the ones that you don't talk about. Sort of, what was it, 2019? Those ones.
2020 was utter shit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
massive improvement over those ones. As Ian was saying, like the story starts off pretty good. Like obviously NXT development, then you can sort of pick your brand, choose to turn like face or heel. But got to be a bit repetitive. But as he was saying, like the creative mode, the showcase, really enjoyed both of them as well.
Oh, yeah, like I said,
Also,
I enjoyed
GM mode as well was brilliant.
Oh yeah, because you can have voice. It's Stephanie McMahon and Shane
Adam
McMahon and a few other
Pierce.
people. Yeah,
Yeah, you can be yourself, can't you? You can do your own gym, do your own cards
Yeah.
and stuff. And that's always fun.
yeah. So there's lots of stuff I'd like to try, but I think
Did he die?
Has he
Yeah.
paused?
What's he thinking about? He's thinking about something.
He's gone.
He's still
He's
thinking.
Okay. Other than that, so what about you, Ross? What do you think of? What would you want to see in 2K23? Let's put it that way.
Just building on what's already there. Like, obviously they've all got a full match selection. Maybe throw in like war games. Get that in.
That's a good one. I like that.
Get war games in it. That's really it, because all the other modes work fine. The GM mode's brilliant. The creative side of it, I mean, I'm not a big fan of like how they don't like to put shade on other companies, so like you can't. I'll admit it, I'm not a big fan of other wrestling companies, but Kenny Omega's One Winged Angel is one of my favorite moves. And like trying to find the move set that you can find that in, it's like they hide it in the most obscure places because they don't want to like advertise other companies' wrestlers' moves. So everybody just pile in. Everybody just love everybody. If I want to have like Rainmaker followed up by a One Winged Angel, that's what I'll have.
I think for me, they really need to improve the GM mode. I mean, it was quite a really nice feature, but it was quite poor when they did it. I think they kind of were just testing the waters. Like, I think maybe you can only have singles matches, table matches. I want to say cage or Hell in a Cell, something like that randomly. You're not going to have a Hell in a Cell at every bloody SmackDown.
Every SmackDown ends the night. That's it.
I think it's not a Hell in a Cell. I think it was something ridiculous like that. I think it was like only 3 different matches, 3 or 4 matches.
That sounds like the Teddy Long school of booking. You're like 101 in the Undertaker, in the Hell in a Cell, every SmackDown, boom.
That's it. And that was the thing. And it was like it only cost like 20,000 to do, but you had like millions. So it's like every SmackDown, like Hell in a Cell, let's do it. So I think they need to improve on that quite a bit and also make a bigger roster and not only have 3 matches a night, actually have maybe like 5 or 6 matches a night.
Yeah.
And obviously you can have a bit more of a bigger roster because that was kind of a bit of a lackluster, especially because you got such a big roster card over what 100 odd people. You can only really have like 8 or 9 in your SmackDown GM mode. It's like, what's the point? You might as well make it bigger that way. So for me, I hope they.
You're basically going to be AEW, where you've got like a massive roster, and like you'll see somebody 1 week, and then 6 weeks later they'll reappear because you've managed to actually work through all the people.
Or someone will come to you in the office like, "Oh, I'm not getting any matches. Please put me in a match, or I'll leave." It's like,
yeah,
I've got like 3 feuds here. I can't just put you in a random feud. It just doesn't work. And it's like, I get injured. You put me too many matches. It's like, you're a performer. You fucking going every weekend, every
exactly.
match. So yeah, that would for me. I think they need to improve that. Like I said, some of the matches they've got pretty much nailed them all. They're all there. War games would be amazing to see. But
is there anything else you could put in with?
Well, any other matches? No leather strap match. I've had that.
I was going to say you're going to start getting any like that sort of category. Ones. Yeah, the ones that like they're good for like certain feuds, but they don't have like a mainstay place where like you could put anybody in them.
If they're planning on doing war games every Survivor Series, they have to put it in this game, I think.
Yeah. Well, we'll tell them. Well, it's too early to tell if they're going to do war games every year. But I think the problem with doing that is you could like dilute war games too much. You really need to have the feud to go along with it. Like the Bloodline this year. That was the perfect one for a war games type thing. You can't just pick like 5 Raw, 5 SmackDown, and then it can be put in the war games type idea.
Yeah. That's good, yeah. And less microtransactions as well. That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Or like buy this kind of thing. Like buy these cards to get this. It's like, oh fuck off. Just give me it all at one bundle.
Just want to play the full thing and that's it. Done.
What about you, Guy? What do you want?
To be honest, I never actually had a chance. I mean, Jay gave me the WWK game not long ago. And I think I've got it installed. I just haven't really properly loaded it up and played. I think the last time I played it was with a few guys anyway. And it still looks like it's a reversal pro one. Maybe dial back how easy it is to reverse in those games, just so we have a chance of playing against Jay when I ever play him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it was so easy to reverse, and the game just looked like a complete reversal fest. That's
because of Jay, bloody bastard.
Times are perfect like every single time.
Yeah.
Every time. Go on.
But no, considering his button timing thing on other games is so terrible, it's just surprising how bloody good he is at reversing.
Okay.
Seeing as Jay's departed from his potato internet, well, we talk about some Atomic Heart and how amazing that looks.
Atomic Heart, go for it. Yeah, I'll let you read the blurb.
So I think this is one they were showing off, or they were talking about the sort of what they were planning for the next gen targets for the Game Pass version. So they're aiming for a solid 60 frames per second and 4K when it's in like the indoor areas, and then they'll have a dynamic resolution which will be mostly 4K 60 frames per second in the open world. Now, if they can do 4K 60 in the open world, well played to them. Because that's an impressive feat to pull that off. The fact that like people were going in sort of expecting it to be like 1440p, 60 frames per second, and the fact that they're even coming out and saying, "No, look, we think we can match this," then that's an incredible achievement if they manage to pull that off.
But that was the end. That was the goal, though, wasn't it? That everyone was going to try and achieve that.
Yeah, I think people are realizing it's a lot harder than they maybe initially thought it was going to be.
I know, yeah, definitely.
Witcher, for example, that's done at 4K 60. I mean, you look how optimized that game was, how long they had to work to develop from what they started off to the 4K 60 version, and even a game that's been that optimized, the ray trace version even can't lock at a 4K 30. It drips a few times. So for the fact that they've got this massive open world and they've got it a locked 4K 60, hats off to them.
No, yeah, definitely, I agree. I mean, people always want more, don't they? So, yeah. I mean, I'm never going to be fussed about it. As long as the gameplay is good, I'm more gameplay over graphics.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if I was to pick, I would always pick like a performance mode. So I'd rather it have a comfortable like 1080p, but a solid like constant 60 frames. Graphics modes can be important, Like sometimes it's nice to see it and it's like best glory. But if I'm playing a game that's 40, 50, 60 hours, I'd much rather have a buttery smooth experience for the whole time than it be choppy, but then when it's running well, it looks nice.
No, yeah. It's coming out quite. Is it February? Comes out, isn't it? Late Feb.
Yeah, I'm sure it hits Game Pass 21st of February, day one, doesn't it?
Yes, it's down there. It's day one Game Pass.
Yeah.
So 21st, quite late. I'll say maybe we do Project Game Pass. Maybe that'd be March.
Well, no, because it's March not going to be. No, I'm getting mixed up, aren't I? When's Redfall? No, we think Redfall's May, isn't it? Yeah, that's how I'm getting mixed up.
Redfall's May, yeah. Is Redfall May? Yeah, Redfall's May. Then.
It's not been confirmed, but that's when everybody's expecting it to drop at the developer _direct. So
and
we'll be
Starfall is.
So God knows whenever that's going to be. But hopefully we get to see a bit more. Do you think we'll get to see more of Atomic Heart on the 25th?
Surely, if it's coming out in Feb, they probably want.
Yeah, you'd think they would start putting out a wee bit more, even if they give you like a wee sort of bit of the game.
Like
Obviously,
a final
you've seen
gameplay
gameplay,
trailer.
but actually,
true.
Showing it, playing it in the game.
Yeah, I think you could probably see more, like maybe like a cutscene or with a couple of gameplay bits, or maybe even like an actual proper gameplay where they do like 5 minutes of.
That's what I was thinking. Even if it just shows you like the opening like 5 minutes, or even a random middle bit 5 minutes, so you're no spoiling how it opens up and things like that. So,
no, for the gunplay and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree.
But instead of talking about a game we're looking forward to, we have to revert back and talk about a game that has fell flat on its face, much like most of the games in this sort of ilk. And it's shown that the final update for Marvel's Avengers will be coming on the 31st of March. And then the game will end completely on September the 30th, 2023. So, anybody upset about this?
No.
It was such a dreadful game.
It was a shame. It looked great, but it's just the story was all right. But the way they've done the multiplayer bit was just such a dirge of a game.
Yeah, it was one of these things. Like I think. Well, the Marvel fan in me was sort of thinking this could be like the big, full blown up version of like an Ultimate Alliance game where you pick your team, you go out and do missions. It's beautiful cinematics. It's an open story. And it was I struggled to play it so much. Opening the game with Miss Marvel was a terrible decision for a start off. Like if you want to drag Avengers fans into it, you start like obviously you do the first wee part on the bridge, but the main part once you get into the story is you start as Miss Marvel and you're just like, really? Not Thor.
That bit I didn't even mind that bit. I didn't even mind that bit.
It's just you wanted to obviously drag people in and doing it on somebody who, let's be honest, not a lot of folk will know who Miss Marvel is.
That is true.
I didn't really know it until I started the game.
It's a terrible way to start it. And that for me was like it was just a downward slope after that.
Yeah. I agree. Like I say, I never knew about Miss Marvel until they actually started this game. Like, who the fuck is this character? I had to Google. Okay, it's her. Like, okay then.
Yeah.
Is there anything noteworthy? No.
She got really big fists, slams down on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit stretchy, like Mr. Plastic.
Yeah.
For hand jobs.
It's like it's like a rip-off version of Mr. Fantastic or Plastic Man at DC. Fantastic. That's a good way to start your big game that you're looking forward to. So I think more and more games are going to need to realise that this sort of games with a service idea has to be properly supported from, like, it needs to hit the ground running, and then after that they really need to make sure that they're keeping up to date with it and making it worthwhile for people to constantly keep going. And I think it sort of pays, maybe show my fanboy side here, but it's a tip of the cap to Bethesda for everything they've done with Fallout 76. Came out as a disaster, but they've worked on it and they've actually managed to get a constant fan base that are diehard Fallout 76 fans. And that game has, 5 years down the line now?
Yeah,
must be close to that. It's been a while. And it's got massive support. So that shows that it can be done. Same with games to an extent like Destiny, but then on the flip side, you've got games like Anthem, which again died a painful death. So
I think
fingers
with Fallout
crossed.
76, they quickly changed and quickly put things
Yeah,
out.
they pivoted. They realised that the big open world with nothing in it, it was like shit. That would only work if you had constant people online all the time to do all the missions.
Yeah.
Then they realised that's not going to be the case, and done the Wastelanders update, which introduced all the NPCs, made the world have like more populated, and that's when it then got like a second upturn. And ever since then, they've just added to it with like different events, different DLCs, different things that you can unlock. So fair play to them for doing it, but it just goes to show if you want to take this type of game, you need to be switched on in regards to having a proper roadmap that you can execute.
No, I agree. And yeah, better storyline as well.
Well, yeah, there needs to be, like I said, constant single player updates, multiplayer updates, better multiplayer as well. From what I understand, the multiplayer side of it wasn't particularly good either.
No, and matchmaking was dreadful as well, apparently.
Yeah, so the matchmaking, and was it not just like drop-in missions? It wasn't like it was constant multiplayer.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember hearing that. I can't remember now. I was going to say, I vaguely remember one point where you kept having to drop out after each mission and go back in if you wanted. You couldn't see one seamless flow.
So fingers crossed that games going forward realise that. Oh,
hello everybody.
Games going forward will realise that we will hold them to a higher standard. Otherwise, you'll end up in the Anthem Marvel pile, and you need to get good.
But to be honest, I'm kind of glad it's going because I gave zero fucks about it.
Hopefully then not having an Avengers game on the market means that we might actually get better Marvel type games in the future.
I learned from their mistakes.
You can hope.
You can hope, yeah.
Hope and dream.
I think G dropped out for the Marvel question just to come back for this next topic.
If only. Fucking Virgin Media, eh? After I went on the thing, it doesn't matter. It's like, there's no issues. There is a fucking issue. Nothing's working, you bastard.
Well, you're back on, though, so there's no issue.
Well, do you have any thoughts on Atomic Heart before we go on to...
I'm looking forward to playing it. I didn't realize it was that so soon.
Yeah.
But... yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it, and I'm not really bothered about the 4K 60 whatever. As long as it doesn't run like shit, I don't really care and give it a go because it's quite funny by the looks of it, from what I remember, right?
Do you think we'll see anything about it on Wednesday?
Possibly, because they've already announced the release date, haven't they? So there's not really anything like that. So maybe there'll just be like a hype trailer or something, and they're coming in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or whatever. But yeah, possibly, but nothing major. I would have thought.
Anything on Marvel?
I don't give a shit. Not sure I can
That
care
is
less.
the correct answer.
And then next story, Quantum Leap. Well, we don't need to talk about that. We can just move on.
Quantum Leap, Quantum Break.
Don't tease me like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quantum
So,
Break.
do you want to carry on, or do you want me to?
No, you continue on. I fell off a cliff at this game because it wasn't Alan Wake. And
No, I didn't like it.
This game is fucking brilliant. What are you on about, you two?
It's not Alan Wake.
Pipe down.
It's not Alan Wake.
No, it's still brilliant. I think it was such a perfectly driven game that you had a nice proper gameplay game, where you have proper gameplay and you're doing shooting fight, and then you have like a sort of like a Worlds interactive moment for like 30-40 minutes where you get to pick and choose your own adventure. It's fucking fantastic. More games should do it. Fuck you.
I can't remember the actor's name. I always remember him as Iceman. That's the only thing I can ever think of as.
Yeah, I know what you're about. Well, the other one was a Hobbit, wasn't he? The one that's in there.
Yeah, the Charlie from the Lost, isn't it? One of them.
Yeah.
Is that right? Which one? I don't know.
Yeah,
which one it is, but
he's a Hobbit.
so Sean Ashmore is the main.
Sean
guy.
Ashmore. That's Iceman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then whoever was the Hobbit guy. Yeah, I tried it because Ian kept banging on about it, but it was more that I don't really like Remedy games, I guess, as we spoke about before. So I just didn't go with it. But the whole thing of this kicked off with Jez Corden from Windows Central saying, "Bring back Quantum Break," and then Sean Ashmore was like, "Yes, please," and then Sam Lake from Remedy, like the Max Payne face. He was like, "I love you, Sean R. Ashmore." And now there was a lot of stuff online over the weekend saying, "You know what, Quantum Break isn't actually as bad as everyone said." I mean, they're wrong, but
they know nothing.
Oh, We're gonna fall out, Jay. Especially after the game I played for you.
I know. I'm looking forward to getting to that part later on. But yeah, so I mean, I highly doubt they're going to be bringing it back in time soon because they got Alan Wake 2 on the go and they got some Bond game as well, and they get on the go. Is that them or is that no? That's IO in it. Sorry,
That's
That's
IO.
IO.
That's
What's
my
Rem-
babies.
I'm sure Remedy have got another game going on.
Alan Wake 2, isn't it?
Oh, Control 2 as well.
Yeah. And then,
Oh yes, of course.
So, yeah, so they got a few things going on, but yeah, we'll see from that one. Sorry, I'm all in a fluster because of my internet shit in the bed. Next one, quick hit. Suicide Squad will have a battle pass limited to cosmetics. I don't know if you saw the leaked image over the weekend. I think I shared.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't mind if it's just cosmetics.
If it's just cosmetics, yeah. I mean, my problem with the actual image itself was it looked very much like games as a service. So it looked like Avengers and Division. And I mean, I'm not especially interested anyway, but that immediately sort of dampened any hype.
As soon as I seen the words like games as a service, like even attached to that screenshot, I was like, nope, that's me. I'm out. Don't need to see anything about this. But I'm still willing to give it a go because I like the idea, like the bad superheroes.
Yeah,
I like the Injustice storyline type idea. I know it's not Injustice, but superheroes go rogue. I like that idea.
Sort of bringing it back to the first story. The only reason I was even remotely interested, really, was because Samoa Joe's playing the shark dude, whatever his name is.
Shit, seriously?
Yeah, he's doing the voice. I was like, I mean, Samoa Joe's the man, so I'll play.
Yeah,
I'll play
I'm definitely in there.
Did you say Samoa Joe's a man?
The man.
The man. Samoa Joe's a man. It's like, I don't like,
Samoa Joe is a professional wrestler.
Joe.
Damn right, should know.
That's like a dad comment. That is.
Yeah, he's that man from the Graps.
Isn't he from Fiji?
I don't know, but we don't get into it. We talk about wrestling all day long otherwise. And the only other quick hit story, if everyone's all right with that one, is that Destruction All Stars developer Lucid Games is working with Rare on Sea of Thieves content. I know none of us particularly interested in Sea of Thieves, but the sort of twist of this is that Lucid Games created Destruction All Stars, which was a PS5 launch game exclusive. They worked with Sony on several other games, including a Twisted Metal game that they're working on. And now they're sort of, because they're not officially part of Sony, they're working with Xbox and Sea of Thieves, and apparently they've been doing it for some time. There's no details on what they're doing, but it's interesting that they're sort of playing both sides, perhaps seeing where their bread may be buttered. This
is basically the small-time version of Kojima. Oh my god, how could you work on PlayStation and then Xbox? Oh my god.
Effectively, yeah.
How dare you, an independent contractor who develops video games, work for one particular company?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look into the comments on their Twitter announcement, but I'm sure it was full of PlayStation fans and Xbox fans being so kind to everybody. But yeah, so we'll see what that brings us. I mean, Sea of Thieves is still going strong after, 5-6 years at this point. They keep adding. Exactly, Ian. Fucking fuckboats represent. Not that kind of fuckboat. So yes, we'll see what happens. I know our former Tavern contributor DJ Redcap is a massive Sea of Thieves fan, so I'm sure this would rustle his jimmies a bit more. But we'll see what this brings up. Perhaps we'll get some more Sea of Thieves news on Wednesday, like you said, for the showcase. Sorry, developer _ direct. So yeah, cool.
I get Cole shakes something about Sea of Thieves and boats.
It's like G played Stranded Deep.
Yes. Yeah, you weren't here, were you, last week? I don't know if you heard or not. I played a bit Stranded Deep.
Let me guess, like 5 minutes?
I think I made it 10 before I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
You didn't get off the island?
I sailed. Well, I didn't finish the tutorial, but I got on the dinghy and I thought I'll just go out to sea and see what happens. And I looked in the water and there's some sharks swimming around. A big whale floating along the top of the water somehow. And I was like, no, I'm done. I'm out.
Nope,
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Done. That's enough for me. Thank you very much. But yeah, has anyone else got any other news stories they've seen this week?
I've seen. I think it's been a quieter week waiting for Wednesday.
Yeah. Obviously, we've got the showcase on Wednesday, the 25th at 8 p.m.
Ish.
Not ish. On the dot.
We'll be on the dot. Yeah, I can't believe we missed that one last week. And I don't know if you guys saw as well the layoffs at Microsoft last Friday, including some Xbox sort of side of things from Bethesda and 343 and stuff like that. And a lot of people were getting upset about Halo not obviously in the best position, and then they're laying off people, and people like Joseph Staten are leaving. And they put out a statement. I saved it earlier on just for my reference because it's much easier. They say, Halo and Master Chief are here to stay. 343 Industries will continue to develop Halo now and in the future, including epic stories, multiplayer, and more of what makes Halo great. That's from Pierre Hintz, the studio head. But I think a lot of people, including, I'm sure, was it Windows Central and a few other sites, were putting up big op-eds like, Staten's leaving. They fired a bunch of other people from it as part of the layoffs. But Halo's still not fixed or not in the place it should be. And then they're like, no, it is. It will be. Don't worry. I promise. Don't worry. Halo's still coming out strong. There's no other information, so who knows what they've got actually in the pipeline. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with Halo down the line. I very much doubt we'll get anything about that on Wednesday, but we are getting stuff about Redfall, Forza, Minecraft Legends, and Elder Scrolls Online, which is obviously good for most of us. And hopefully a few extra surprises. Yeah, have they said how long it'll be?
I assume 90 minutes.
90 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, so we should get some good deep dives, especially on Redfall, like we said, hopefully ending the show and giving us a proper release date. Confirming the rumoured May. Was it May 2nd they rumoured it to be? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we'll either discuss that on Wednesday or discuss that next week on our Xbox Tavern, Xpod Tavern episode 105th, seeing this is 104th, not 103rd, as I said at the top.
Yep.
But for now, Ross...
Are we going to do drinking games on Wednesday? If we watch it?
Well, we'll discuss that afterwards.
G's going to be drinking Lemsip by the looks of it.
I know, I'm going to have to, I think. Ross, while we get ready for Wednesday and for the huge load of news that's going to be dropping all over us, can you please plug me in preparation?
I shall indeed. So I'm going to start off with something different, and we have a giveaway. We actually have two giveaways. One giveaway with two codes, to be fair. So we've got a giveaway to celebrate the launch of We Were Here video game. So if you want to enter, if you can go and follow us over on Twitter, and if you would tag your co-op partner once you've followed us down below under the post, and then we will announce the winners of the draw on the 31st of January. There's a wee video link on to YouTube as well to give you a wee idea of the trailer, and if it looks like your cup of tea, jump into the competition and you may find yourself a lucky winner.
You should definitely enter that competition because it's a fantastic game. And we'll have an opinion of the Xbox version soon, but our PC review is up now. Sorry, Ross, the button. Go check out. Me and Graham played it. We loved it. And there's 2 sets of 2 codes, so there's effectively four winners is going to win. So, so we're giving away a pair to one person and a pair to another person. Then obviously they can then share with their friends. So go check that out as it comes out on the 30th, I believe. So go for that and carry on with the plug-in, please.
You're welcome. Insert coin. So Xbox Tavern 23 can be used for £5 off orders over £50. Long time sort of fans of the website have been giving us support for quite a while now. Ian, you repping the goods?
Dreamcast ready for the win. I've got the hat on. I think I've got a t-shirt on, but I'm not.
I've got one on as well, but it's currently fucking frozen.
Yeah,
Scotland, so I'm not showing what I'm representing from. We're all representing. Socials run all on the bottom of the screen: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it may be. You will find videos. You'll find posts, various different things. Written reviews, G will have a nice little list of reviews going up on the site later on in the show. You can find them all at xboxtavern.com. Podcasts, Apple and Spotify are the 2 main places to get us. So if you can jump over there, leave a little review. 5 stars would be greatly appreciated. And a wee comment underneath, whether it be to answer the question that we've got in the show, what we could do better on the podcast, what you think is good about the podcast, any little wee input would be fantastic. And last but by no means least, our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Xbox Tavern. If you want to support us all with your hard-earned cash, that would be greatly appreciated. There is going to be quite a bit more content going up on them, starting possibly this week with a post-show little blurb that we might be doing. That'll be going up every week after the show. So jump over there, see what we sort of waffle on about after the show that's not Xbox related and usually just some sort of wrestling, arcade, whatever it may be, talk. You'll find that over at patreon.com/Xbox Tavern.
Thank you very much. Yes, so go check that out. Any support you can give us would be tremendous. We'd love it. And even, again, to send their website and to Patreon, anything would be wonderful. Thank you very much. Right, gentlemen, we've got a question of the week. I don't know who this come from. So, special guest Pete, perhaps?
Made me think for quite a while.
It's quite a good one. And I would like to get your opinions on this. So, what game would you like to see a spin-off title for? So, I'm going to go with Ross first because he's put a pretty decent one. If it was special guest Peter who asked it, he'd be very happy with this. So, what title would you like to see a spin-off for, and what kind of thing would you like to see?
So, I'd like to see a spin-off for Mass Effect, and not have it like Andromeda, which is a set of new characters in regards to like a different storyline like that. But even if it's just like a smaller 20-hour game type idea that you could do for all the different races, but specifically the one that caught my mind the most was like a 20-hour version of like the playing as the Turians during the First Contact War, so the big war with humans and everything that happened in that, having like a condensed 100-mile-an-hour type Mass Effect 3 Reaper type idea where every mission that you play is just like to the go, no sort of lull time idea. Just to give you an idea of the backstory of how they view humans, instead of everything being through sort of the human eyes, and then your squad mates are the wee side parts, actually have you as like a Turing general type idea, and seeing how the world that you get to play in is eventually developed.
I reckon that could be all right. I'd like to see other kind of spin-offs from Mass Effect, like a Volus version of the QWOP game.
Volus. Can you imagine how long it would take to get from one side of the map to the other? You'd have to have it as like a 2D platformer.
I'd like to see like a sports game with Volus.
Yeah, that's all you'd be able to have. It'd have to be like table tennis, just not being able to move anything that records to move like more than 10 yards either side.
Just
like,
waddling around.
I'm done. I cannot in any way, shape, or form go any further.
Yeah.
I suppose in theory you could have a few short ones, couldn't you? Like you said, the Volus and the Turin, and what's the other war between the Geth and the
Quarians.
Yeah, you could have like little side stories, kind of like it sort of reminded me of like the Assassin's Creed like Chronicle games. They were just short little ones where they sort of complement the other games going around. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool, and it'd be nice to have a decent Mass Effect game for a while. The first time in a while, you know. So
Legendary Edition.
Well, yeah, but that's the same games again, though, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That would be a nice little.
That one with the race that has to explain their emotion before they talk.
The Hannah. They don't. Yeah.
Oh, aren't they the jellyfish ones?
Yeah, that's the Hannah.
Yeah.
Oh no,
there's
the
another
Elcor.
one that goes
Sorry.
disappointed.
Yeah, sorry.
John Cena is on the WWE wrestling game.
Do.
Yeah, big elephant tanks.
Nice. Well, Graham, what about yourself? What would you like to see a spin-off title for, and what would that spin-off title be?
As I just can't let it go, and it's one of my favourite games of all time. I just like to see a spin-off of the Guardian Heroes old school game from the Saturn that got redone up or brought back onto the Xbox. But that game just had so much potential and such great music and great characters. They could have just done so much with it to sort of bring some lore into it, bring some story into it, and spin off, because all the characters, like, they're all unique, and you'd just like to see how they managed to band together. It just would have been awesome to see sort of spin-off stories of them separately, to see how they all came together. And then obviously the best spin-off story would just be how the Golden Warrior came about being. Yes, he's one of the greatest characters ever.
Goldie. Yes. I imagine it could be, like you said, maybe like a more expansive RPG as opposed to the 2D fighter that we got in a minute.
Doesn't mean that it's like the world is your oyster with the games nowadays, but it's just, it was so fun and the characters just had so much that you could have just, I mean, I think you could even, they were like one of the first games that had battle rules of like 8 different people at a time for the Sega Saturn. It was like on one screen. It was kind of mad. And yeah, just to see, I mean, I know I think they did a game on the Game Boy Advance, I think it was. That was a bit there. But I'd rather see a sort of a decent spin-off with what they can do nowadays to sort of really like rip and produce something awesome. from it would have been nice. I suppose it would have helped if that publisher's still going. I don't even know if someone took them over or if they're even still running.
Let me have a quick look who it was, because I'm sure we've asked this question many times, but Ian and Ross, have you played Guardian Heroes at all?
Nope. Not in the slightest my type of game.
Oh, it's almost as good as Streets of Rage. Almost.
It is.
Almost. So Treasure's still around. I think Treasure might still be around, possibly. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it would be good to see some sort of revamp or redo, and then, like you said, expand it more, and see more stuff from Goldie and all the 10 ton of heroes, because there's quite a lot of characters, isn't there, you can unlock to players.
There was ton. Not that you could play as. You can play as, I think, about 5 or 6 to start off with, and then you can unlock one extra one to play as. That was the confusing one. Similar in the way that they did with Burning Rangers, they spelt the name wrong inside the instruction book. Yeah. A lead or read, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
She was either called Selena or Serena, depending on what was on the screen or what was in the instruction book.
Yeah. Good old early days translations in the manuals. That's it. It's printed now. No changing it.
But what is it? What's the correct one?
Yes, I'm impressed you remembered the Burning Rangers one. That makes my heart flutter. Ian, have you got one, or do you want a bit more time to think while I give my answer? You're still on mute, by the way.
Still muted.
Thank you. I was thinking maybe something like, I don't know, maybe something like Gears, but in the Telltale kind of way.
You son of a bitch.
No, jokes aside, maybe any game with the Telltale's kind of way. But also, I was thinking maybe, are you saying spin-off as in like a different style of game, a game you like?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the game where you like the story or the lore for that you'd like to see done.
I can go if you'd like, and you can have a bit of thinking time.
Yeah, go again.
Yeah, I mean, you literally just said it, but I love the Gears of War games, obviously, and I love the world building and the story and stuff. I couldn't tell you much about it because it's been so long since I played it, but I'd like to see something like that, like give it a bit more of a mature Telltale style, choose your own adventure style, game from that world, like they did with Tales from Borderlands. So have not necessarily Marcus, but maybe some of the other side characters like Ty or even Dom or someone like that, and just have a side story where they sort of follow the adventures that lead into the first game or lead into where Marcus was in prison at the start of the first game, how he got there and what the other characters were doing at that time, things like that. I think that would be quite entertaining to experience that sort of world and lore from a different perspective, because I know they had the was it Gears Tactics, which I haven't played much of yet, which sort of explored other characters. Virus, but maybe he's got Virgin Media too. But yeah, I'd like to see a bit more from that world in a different setting, because, like I said, I do enjoy the Gears of War story and lore and characters and stuff, and it kind of gets a bit lost in the action, I find sometimes. Whereas if that's literally all you're doing, they might have a chance to sort of flesh it out a bit more. Yeah. Like you said though, I mean, even a Halo one or fucking Dishonored, yeah, anything like that really. But I think Gears of War would be, if I had to pick one, that would be my sort of go-to one. Yeah.
Ian? Shiver then having the thoughts of bloody Dom in the Kenny role of the freaking Telltale games. Like, oh god, you can't get rid of him.
Though, Dom or Kenny just coming back.
Kenny crosses over.
Maybe that's what they should have done. Just had him as like a cameo in every single game, just to wind you up. I mean, if you play, we'll get into it. But have you played many more new Tales from the Borderlands yet?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh, you're gonna wait till you find him in there. Don't
go to that to me. I want to buy the game, so how can I finish it?
I will do that.
Anyway, sorry, Ian. Any titles you can think of?
Yeah, so I was thinking, like I said, that kind of idea. I do like that kind of Tales thing, but for me, I'll probably pick something like Titanfall, because they've made such a big universe, especially with Apex Legends, how they've broadened that universe open. It'd be nice to get that the Telltale franchise. If not, if it gets core of a spin-off, but I combine two games, my favourites would be Dishonored and Hitman. So maybe like Hitman, the style of Dishonored, or other way around, a first-person Hitman. That'd be quite fun to do. Probably very different, because I'd be a bit like more like Deus Ex style of thing, where do more first-person. But I think I'm going to steal your Telltale style, but go with Titanfall instead. I think
what show that is?
Yeah, 'cause I think that whole universe is so many different characters, especially with the Apex Legend games and in it. And obviously, you can bring the Titans in. I think it'd be good fun of like maybe going in a Titan, even if it tells the Borderlands style, where's the comedian. I can imagine that'd be quite funny.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Like something comes flying down from the sky. It's actually like a little figurine or something. And they're like, what?
Opens up. So yeah,
I did think going off what you said about Dishonored. I was like, actually, I'd quite like to see like a multiplayer Dishonored or something. And I was like, we're getting that in fucking Redfall in like a couple of months. So
yeah, exactly. You sort of get that similar, really, yeah.
But yeah, that's
Not enough stealth with Graham's playing.
And well, obviously not no, or me. But yeah, it'd be good to see some more Titanfall lore, especially because the story of the second one's quite good. Again, I don't remember a lot of it because it's been fucking many years since I played it, but
No, but it was
quite
good.
well renowned.
Yeah, that's it. I think maybe that, or like, obviously, you can incorporate the Apex games into it. I think you get quite a lot of like different stories from it. So for me, that's what I'm going. I'm going to steal your Telltales, but go Apex Legends.
Nice. Some good choices. Thank you whoever asked that question, whether it's Specialist Pete or Dan or someone else in the Discord. If you've got any questions for us, hit us up, Twitter, Discord, in the comments, what have you.
OnlyFans,
let us know. And we'll answer them and read them out next week. Again, it can be anything, doesn't have to be gaming related, just whatever you fancy asking us. Ask away. And speaking of asking away, I'm praying to Phil Spencer that somebody has played Deathloop this week other than me, because obviously I haven't played it. I'll finish it now. I talked about it. It's far too long last week. Has anybody else played some more Deathloop, please?
So I downloaded it. I did the first cutscene, and then I had to go away somewhere, and I've come back to it.
Right, so Ian's damned it basically. Graham, have you played anymore?
No, I know. I literally went, I'm going to do this. I'm probably going to play. And I got something came up, and I had to go. I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I got into it. I played probably about an hour to 2 hours of it earlier.
Right.
And yeah, it's obviously it flits around a bit. You have to keep going back to base to swap it around. But yeah, I can see the kind of fun in it and how the interaction with that Juliana, trying to wind her up all the time. Yeah.
I do really want to play because it sounds like so much fun. It's just fucking time. I'm old and time.
It's so good. It's so clever, and like obviously Graham's going to enjoy it. I think because you don't have to try and do stuff. You can just go in and get the big fucking machine.
Oh, don't worry, I didn't.
Just...
It even keeps saying, if you do go gung ho, prepare. It might alert others. So start to bring them on.
Fire it.
They give you enough tools to deal with it, didn't they? Have you got any of the powers yet? Any of the slabs or anything? I suppose you probably haven't.
Only the one with the dash bit that you get from killing Juliana the first time.
Oh, okay.
Once you find something in the safe. But yeah, I got a little dash with it. Yeah. So that was my go-to one. I think it's called Shift in this game, and Ether, which turns you invisible. They were my two go-to ones. But I think you'll enjoy. Was it Kinesis, where you literally? It's like almost like telekinesis. You pick them up, and then once you upgrade it to a certain point, you can slam them down and make everyone around them sort of explode. Okay.
And there's another one that you can link the people together, and then if you kill one, then everybody dies at the same. So if you link like 3 or 4 people, you headshot one, and everybody just collapses dead. So that's sort of more up your street, I think. But you'll find more as you kill the different visionaries, you get the different upgrades, and they
took that one straight out of Borderlands. That's a Borderlands skill.
Yeah, I think that's also in Dishonored, that particular one. I don't know, it's not called the same, but yeah, that similar power is in that. So definitely go looking for them. I can't remember who holds them, but yeah, definitely want to go looking for them too at least.
But no, happily dabbling. I had to stop a bit because the girls were watching. There were some gruesome machete kills, which I couldn't really let them keep seeing. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like overtly violent, is it? But when he grabbed their head and twisted around the face,
head rips, head decapitations, and gruesome, like proper psycho stabs in the gut. Maybe they can't be watching this.
Yeah, not really child appropriate, but yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing you play a bit more, and hopefully Ian and Ross will get into it at some point. Definitely, I think if I had played it properly last year, it would have been in my game of the year, if not maybe possibly the top game of the year. I'm not sure. It was fucking tremendous, but we get around to it in time. So yeah, we'll play that. Obviously, that is for Project Game Pass. I forgot to explain at the top, but we pick a game from Game Pass every month. We play it, we talk about it in theory, and then we give it a rating, and then we move on to the next game next month. We've got one more week roughly. We're going to pick a new game next week to do for February. So any suggestions from you out there, hit us up. If anything you'd like to see us play, be it multiplayer or single player or what have you, If not, we'll just figure out something amongst ourselves and we'll go from there. But speaking of games we've been playing, obviously Graham's been playing a bit definitely. We'll sort of like mix it up here. We'll go one by one, do a game, and then move on and sort of keep it a bit free flowing, as it were. So, Ian, I want to hear you talk about. I'm going to save the best to last. Wolfenstein New Order.
Yeah.
Why have you been playing that?
Why have we been playing that? Well, I just wanted to test my PC out a bit, and I thought I'll give Wolfenstein New Order. I love the Wolfenstein franchise, so I thought, I'm going to go through them all a bit and try again because I never played the Sisters ones. What's it called?
Youngblood.
New Blood.
Youngblood, New Blood, whichever one it is.
New Blood is New Blood is the sequel, I think. But yeah, Youngblood is the co-op one.
I thought Old Blood was the sequel. I don't know.
Old Blood is the spin-off. Yeah, the names are a bit fucking crazy, but the game.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought I want to play the Sisters, so I want to play for the whole games again. And I thought I want to test my PC out a bit more as well. So I thought I'd give it a go, and I thought, why not? I do love the whole Wolfenstein franchise, and I wanted to kind of play through it again. Kill some Nazi scum. Yeah. So again, I think it's probably one of the first games I ever played as a youngster, the Wolfenstein 3D. So I thought, give it a try. It's still as good and still graphically looking good, beautiful these days. Maybe because I've wrapped up the graphics on my PC, but even so, it's still, from the games you see these days to then, it's still actually a pretty damn visually good looking game. Yeah. And it actually holds its own in fun gunplay combat. And again, Graham's favourite, you can do stealth as well.
So
if you ever did want to do a couple of stealth bits here and there, take out a few Nazi scum, that's always fun.
That's the only way to do it, I find. Is go in, take a few out, and then once you get spotted, that's when the fucking machine guns come out and you just go crazy. You played this before, right? You're just testing your computer. Yeah. I love the New Blood and New Order and Old Blood and Young Blood wasn't so good, but yeah, I love this sort of revamp of the series that they did over the last decade. I think it's fucking excellent.
Definitely. And that's it. I wanted to kind of play the ones with the Sisters. I thought I'll give the other ones a go first and then go on to that. So I just started playing it, and obviously I thought I'll give it a quick go, but I haven't put it down yet. I was playing it and playing it. About 3/4 way through the game now. So I was like, because I played it before, so I know exactly roughly where I am.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's getting good again. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we were just talking about in our question, like game worlds with decent stories and that. I was surprised how much I enjoyed what was like the cutscenes and the tale, and I got quite invested. Well, it's mainly about blowing the shit out of Nazis. It's quite an interesting story and setup as well. So maybe that could be a good Telltale spin-off type thing as well.
That would be actually quite interesting. Yeah, even if you did like other characters, like even if she's like a Nazi who doesn't want to be a Nazi, that could be quite interesting the way you can do a storyline there.
Yeah, it's great game. Hopefully you continue to play it and play the rest of them. Hopefully, Ross, you must play it because I think you'd love it. It's fucking brilliant.
I've played that one. Oh no, I've played that one. Yeah, it's like the scene on the train where like I can't remember what her name was. It's Frau.
Oh, Frau one.
She puts the gun there in front of you, and you're like, I know I'm not allowed to grab it, and I know if I do grab it, I'm getting my ass handed to me. But the temptation to grab it is just a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's so surprising how they sort of revamped it and including moments like that with sort of choice and consequence, and yeah, fucking brilliant.
And then what's the one in it that's got the it's got like the actors that come in for Hitler. There's like a group of actors that come in for any Hitler. I can't remember which one that is though.
I know what you mean. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
I think that might be the sequel one.
Just some of the scenes in them are just fantastic.
Yeah, it's it's fucking brilliant. Great, you definitely love it. You don't love stealth. You love blowing shit up. I mean,
but you still can blow
is
shit
about
up.
is the blow shit up game of all games. Really, it's it's fucking brilliant. But Ross,
yes,
you obviously haven't been playing Wolfenstein. What have you been playing? What about PGA Tour? That sounds interesting.
I'm golf fan.
Yeah, so no, I've been a fan of the it's 2K that's got it now, but it was sort of the golf club type idea, which was sort of the indie group that was doing it first. And now 2K have sort of picked up. You still uses a very similar game engine, but they've obviously made it much bigger in regards to the amount of pros that are in it, the amount of courses that are in it. The reason that I actually jumped into it is because EA have announced that they're going to be bringing back out their sort of golf game, which was always the ones I grew up with. It was Tiger Woods PGA or EA Sports PGA, whatever it was called. So that was the ones I always grew up with. Always was a massive fan of them, and now EA are sort of bringing it back, and it looks like it's had a complete rework for the ground up, and they really want to make it. I suppose EA and 2K with a rivalry with different things in it, but they want to make it the sort of premier golf game. So I thought I might as well jump into this one, see what it's like, see how much it's sort of varied away from what the golf club basically was. Their course creator, which is in it, has always been fantastic since even the original versions. There's so many different things you can make. You build your own clubhouse to go completely crazy with how you build your course, and then just like was on screen now, Top Golf.
I love that. Brilliant.
Which is massive in America. It's sort of starting to make a big impact over here as well. There's just a new one opened up in Glasgow.
It's huge here. There's one down the road from us.
It looks incredible.
I didn't realise Top Golf was in it because I was talking to one of the girls at work. She said her son, she loves PGA, and he goes, "Yeah, we went to Top Golf, and then he found it in the games." I'm like, "Wait, Top Golf is in PGA?" So now I've got to open the boxes and won't actually play it because I'd like to have a go at Top Golf. I fucking love Top Golf.
So it's like I say, the reason I jumped in it because the new one's coming out, but still a really great game. It's more of a purist type one. There's no 3-click action. There's no like start your swing, stop your swing, hit the ball. You actually have to sort of draw back your stick, and depending on how straight you pull it back and push it forward, they'll dictate how pure you hit the ball. If you deviate slightly, you'll slice it, and then
that's too long. Just do it basic, back and forth. That's what I want to see.
If you move, once you move up from like standard gear to pro to elite, the amount of dead room that you've got changes. So with beginner, you can pretty much just go, as Ian's saying, straight back forward, and it'll just go straight every time. But once you start getting better clubs, they give you a risk reward, so you'll hit the ball further, it generates better spin. But if you're even the slightest off centre, then it's away the left, away the right.
So you don't have to have the.
You don't have to have that. No, it's like it's here. It'll reward you because the clubs will hit further. They'll be more accurate. They'll spin better. Everything like that. But then they have a higher risk of you slicing it and it going just sideways.
Okay, that makes sense then.
So it's nice game, really good graphically, like loads of different game modes, including the Top Golf type idea. And
so is there like any storyline to it? Like,
not a story mode as such. No, there's a career. So like you can go through and play different events and try and work your way up and play against like the pros and things like that. It's like the FedEx Cup. Stuff like that's in it. They don't have
the Cup in it.
No, they don't have the rights to that. That's why I'm so excited for the EA one coming back, because they've got all the PGA Tour events like the Masters, the US Open, the British Open. They've got everything like that, and they've also got the Ryder Cup on it as well. So that's the reason that I'm super hyped for the next one for EA coming up.
And has it got many actual golf pros in it, or is they?
So like you've seen in the clip, you've got like Woods, you've got a lot of the American superstars. I've not got like a full list on there. They've got like a couple of other ones, like so Michael Jordan's one of the people that you can play in it.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
I saw that in the
it's a
what?
It's a DLC type thing, but obviously.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
Jordan obviously been massive in his golf. Was I think one of the reasons that he put in it, but there's quite a few big names in it. People who follow golf, you'll recognise like most of them. But
was Jordan's golf career any good? I know he played for a little while, but
not
he didn't
professionally. It was
not professionally. That was baseball he played.
Oh, was it baseball? Sorry, it's golf. Oh, sorry, I thought it was golf.
Yeah.
So.
You might have had a better chance at golf than baseball.
Yeah, because it was woeful. It was absolutely terrible at.
Sylvester Stallone was in Mortal Kombat though.
That's true.
He joined Mortal Kombat games.
Really enjoyed it. Something a bit different. I've not played a golf game in quite a while, so it was quite good just to jump back in and enjoy just the various different courses that they could play on.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a bit of a soft spot for some golf games. I enjoyed 2K22, and like I said, got 2K23 sitting up there. I just haven't had a chance to start on it yet, but that Top Golf was sort of luring me in a bit more excitedly. However, what I'm not excited about is telling you about a game called Trenches.
See, now, before you start on this, and only because you put it in the show notes, when I clicked into the trailer for this, I was like, oh shit, this looks pretty good. And then read your wee bit underneath it, and then read your review and went, shit.
Yes. So please, obviously, as people will see if they're watching the video, the trailer will start playing perhaps shortly. Trenches is it's pictured like a World War One survival horror type thing where you've got to escape the trenches of where you are at the minute, and the whole idea is there's like a creepy monster chasing you, and you've got to find, I think it's 9 crying fetus dolls, which is, I mean,
Lovely.
weird, but whatever. And every time you find one, the monster gets more aggressive and more difficult to avoid. Much like, I don't know if you guys played Slender Man before, where you got to find the pages in the forest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And as you're walking around, there's various creepy things, like there's a ring girl in the corner who jump at you as you get close, or it'll flash up like disturbing images, or I mean, it uses it. Well, the blurb anyway says it uses sort of like images from World War One as well as sort of enhanced, like messed up stuff to try and scare people. And to give it its credit, the first time was a bit like, oh, I don't know about this. Like, sort of got me a couple of times with a few jump scares and that. But then when I died, inevitably, I started again, and it just, the entire atmosphere is just dreadful. The whole idea, like I said, is to find these crying dolls, but half the time you're just walking around in what is basically like Silent Hill fog on turbo mode. So you can't see where you're going. You can't see the monster. You can hear him, but you can't see him, which again, I suppose is the point, but it's more annoying than scary because I'm trying to find these fucking dolls and I'm running around and the trenches are all randomized every time you place. It's not like you can like memorize the locations of where you're going or the routes you want to go. So you'll be running and also dead end. Okay, turn around. And there'll be like a little tiny side alley you missed because you couldn't see it because of the stupid fog. The character, as you run around, blinks, which again, I suppose was supposed to be like, oh, scary. Because what if you blink and something, you know, as you open your eyes, there's a monster, but it's like every 20 seconds. And no word of lie, I don't know if you guys can watch it. It goes like this. It's like on the camera. Slow. It's just tedious and annoying and frustrating. And then, like I said, they flash up images which are not scary, but they're annoying. I'm going to use the word annoying a lot when I talk about this game.
So you enjoyed it?
Yeah, the jump scares are shit. The monster, when you get caught by the monster, is shit. Finding the dolls is shit. The fog is shit. And the controls are shit. So, like, it's a first-person game. I mean, the music is shit as well. And the visuals.
Well, were you scared, though?
No. That's the thing. Like I said, the first time, the very first go, I was like, oh, it could be a bit creepy. But then I played it again. I was like, well, no, this is shit because nothing is happening other than attempting to be like, boo, So, yeah, but
That scared me a little bit.
It's the wrong side of like a proper horror game. Like something like Outlast is scary because of the atmosphere, and you're like, well, I need to try and get around here. Whereas this game, it's like, oh, I just want to get to the next fucking doll so I can get on, like, move on a bit. And like I said, the controls, like, it's first person. So when you're trying to look around, the dead zone is way too big. So if you like push the stick to the right, for example, you've got to go basically to the end of like how far you can push the stick before you start to turn, and trying to like navigate, like looking at the item to pick it up or turn the corner. It's just horrible. There's nothing about it that's redeeming in any way. In the official screenshots, it looks quite pretty. Like Ross was saying, it looks quite nice. Like the fog is way further out in the distance. You can see further. It looks much like higher resolution, better lighting, better. In game, it looks like a fucking PlayStation 1 game, which I've no problem with, as I'll talk about in a minute with another game. But it's just dreadful. I can't think of any redeeming qualities to it whatsoever. Really, it's clearly aimed at people. You know, like you get the streamers who want to play the game where they go and then they get the thumbnail with their face going That's who they're aiming at, and I mean, they haven't done a very good job because there's 10 ton of games out there better than this. So that's enough of that shit. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Just don't bother. Trenches. I mean, it is from our friends at Ratalaika, which is not going to surprise anyone.
Ooh.
However,
stole it off Dan.
I did. So don't play it. But I'll talk about another game of theirs, which I did quite enjoy lately. But Graham, I'm going to get back to you.
Yeah.
And I want to hear more about FIFA. No, I don't. Oh, One Piece Odyssey. Have you played some more? Have you been enjoying it?
I have been enjoying it. There's sort of still some good and bad with it. I mean, graphically, it's amazing. Music-wise, it's amazing. It's purest to the fact that it's still in sort of Japanese, so it's all sort of subtitles for the English. So I know some people don't prefer that, but I still think it's kind of a bit more truer if it's in sort of the native language, and although it means reading at the same time. But it's fun, and it completed like the first 4 chapters. I don't know how many there are in total yet, but I mean, you're just exploring the whole different kind of stories, and it takes you place to a memoria, which basically just means it loads up like a whole different story that's happened throughout the series. So you're kind of reliving parts in the series, and so it's good to kind of rewatch some of that through that whilst playing it. So that side of it's awesome. The downside of it is it suffers from some sort of real pacing issues at time. So it has you sometimes sort of running around the map to talk to different people to help develop the story. But even with like running, it's so slow sometimes running through the map. I mean, thankfully there's some fast travel points that you can use, but sometimes just running on a map is quite sluggish. It can be quite annoying at times, especially when they include certain puzzle elements, which I had to do recently. There's a parts where you have to flip a room around, you have to bounce mirrors sort of to get the light aiming at the right thing, and you have to basically jump around to get to the right spots. But it's just if you go to the wrong place and then you have to go all the way back around, sometimes it can be really annoying pacing wise to run all the way back through again. And the other sort of slow bit is it's the same as sort of any other sort of turn-based battling game like Final Fantasy, etc. Whereas once you've sort of seen a fight, if you have to keep having quite frequent fights, it gets a bit tedious to watch the same sort of moves repeatedly in a short space of time. They do have a bit where you can speed up the battling, but it's almost like, stop telling me the moves I'm going to use. I know the moves I'm going to use, but every move that you use, it has to say the move and then do the move. It's almost like you need a button to sort of skip that bit. Just do the move. Stop telling me every move I'm going to use. That's like, yeah. So there's bits they could have done to speed up the battling, especially when they can be quite frequently. I mean, you don't auto engage. It's not like Final Fantasy that it just random encounters. You have to run into the enemy to sort of trigger the battle. So you can, if you're evasive enough, run around them to do it. But yeah, it's good. I am enjoying it, and I will have my review up at some point this coming week for it. But for most of, it's impressive, and I will play it through to completion.
Nice. That sounds very interesting. Like, I mean, I know you sort of enjoy these sort of Japanese anime games like you played in the past, like the Dragon Ball Z ones, and that. So it's good that
it's not as good as Bleach Naruto though.
Ooh, I mean, we can get into that in the after show if you like. Not that I have much of an opinion on it, but we can go for that. Which you can find on patreon.com.
I can rant about this. Don't worry.
I'm sure we will. Ross, let's get back to you very quickly because I want to hear about another game you've been playing, not Pokemon, please. Superliminal. Have you managed to beat it yet?
I think I must be like properly close because I'm starting to get the message that you spoke about.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like the we call him the inventor of the company.
Yeah.
The doctor type idea.
Yeah.
Starting to realize like what he's trying to project into the game. But yeah, just some of it's like just really, really intuitive how they've done it.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought, like, if I had never played the Stanley Parable and seen this game, I would have probably skipped past it. So thank you for putting me on a Stanley Parable type idea. But no, I can't believe how much enjoyment I'm getting out of a simplistic little grab, resize, use it to move, or resize it to move it out of the way, or whatever it may be. It's not overly complicated. But it's such a great wee game.
Yeah, it's just like you said, like the way they use what is effectively the same mechanic for whatever 4 hours.
Yeah,
it always feels different. Like I said, you're making things bigger, smaller. You're sort of layering things. You're finding different routes. You know that you can only fit through when things are big. Have you done the bouncy castle bit yet? It's like a big castle, and then you have to. It's sort of in a room that it's got teleport doors on it, and you go through the door and you end up above it, and then you can sort of
Yes, yes, I have.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean that one was fucking like, what? How the fuck have? Oh, yes, it's just. It's just brilliant.
I think the room I was just in that I got stuck on was there's a keyhole and you've got two doors. And you have to line one of the doors up in front of the keyhole so that when you walk through one of the doors, you're the same height as the keyhole, so you can pass through the keyhole type idea.
Yeah.
It's really good how they work the mechanics to do it.
Yeah, it's such a clever game, and I'm looking forward to seeing if you have the same opinion of the end that I seem to remember having. Like I said, it's been a couple of years since I played it, but yeah, really, really good game. Very, very much enjoying that one. However, Ian.
Hello.
Ian.
Here we go.
Before I get on to, in fact, no, you know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to talk about my other one quickly. And GTA 5 is still fucking brilliant, blah, 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 blah. Everyone loves GTA 5. Did the Police Obey mission, fucking excellent. But Chase is Static is what I want to talk about. So this is another Ratalaika game, which is a first-person horror.
Oh, wait, Dan, calm down. What are you doing?
We're already sort of keeping on the same track as Trenches. Same publisher, same sort of genre, same sort of style. But it's fucking brilliant. I loved it. I thought it's excellent. It's like I said, first person, not survival horror. It's more of like a psychological horror, but there's elements of survival horror to it. And you sort of explore this little area in South Wales, I think it is, where you've got 4 or 5 different zones. You've got this little radar gun type thing. It's like a frequency transmitter or something. And as you go around, you have to find echoes of like people that were there previously, who then tell you the story about some sort of alien and ghostly menace that they're trying to figure out how to harness the power of and stuff. And the survival horror element, comes in by finding items that you use in other parts of the map. So you'll find a pair of bolt cutters in one area, which will then unlock or cut through a gate in another area, and keys and batteries and things like that. And the reason I'm only talking about it now, because it's been out for a couple of weeks, is it did not run at all on a Series X for the first 2 weeks. It get to the title screen and just it wouldn't get any further. But it's fucking. I thought it was brilliant. The retro style, like PS1 Sega Saturn visuals are great, and it's sort of, as I said in my review, it kind of enhances the atmosphere because it's not like high res, like full on realistic visuals. There's a lot of like implied stuff because of the limitations of what they present. So there's one bit where there's like a guy who's chopped in half on a tree and on the floor, and although it's like covered in red and blah blah blah, it's not like all grisly and horrible. You're sort of left to fill in the details yourself, if that makes sense, like we used to have to do back in there. And yeah, I thought it was brilliant. The story is quite interesting, and the way that they use the mechanics, like I said, of finding items in different areas and then sort of backtracking to other areas and using them and getting a bit further and slowly unlocking different parts of each of the small maps. I really enjoyed it. And by the time you get to the end, again, obviously I'm not going to spoil it, but it was a bit obvious where it was going by the time you sort of completed a couple of the areas, but it was still handled pretty well, and it was pretty interesting. There's a couple of different endings you can get depending on what you choose towards that last section as well. The only thing I would have liked to see is a bit more action, because there's at certain points there's like an apparition that chases you, but you don't have anything to fight back with, and if it catches you, it just sort of like floats around your head and then it just disappears. And I was expecting more of a shit I need to hide from. It's like in Trenches or something, like I need to defend myself or hide or do something to get rid of it, but it just kind of was there and then went away. But it was 10 times better than Trenches. It was well worth the wait for the bugs to be fixed so I could actually play it.
Only 10.
I mean, I can't remember what I gave it. That's 7.8 or something. But yeah, it was good. And I would highly recommend checking that one out, even if you just fancy like a short. Because it only took about 3 hours to get through, and that was a push because I was sort of. There was one bit I got a bit stuck because it doesn't give you any sort of quest log or anything. So I picked up an item like the night before, come back to the next night, and I was like, the fuck was I doing? So I just ran around for ages trying to remember what the hell I was supposed to be going or where I was supposed to be putting the items. But yeah, no, really good. I enjoyed it. Much better than the last terrible game I played. But Ian,
hello.
It's time.
Ian, let's do it.
It's time. Please tell me, you've been playing a certain video game that might or might not have won Game of the Year. Was it 2021? I think it was.
You want to keep banging on about it, so I thought, you know what? I fancy new gameplay. That's not Deathloop. And I chose the lake because you would lake, just lake, not the lake. And yes, so I thought, you know what? I'll give it a go. Postman Simulator, the lake. It's not a lake; it's an ocean.
So first question then, because I missed you last night, but you wouldn't tell me anything about it. How far are you?
I'm on day 4, so September the 4th. So I did my birthday and then I went to bed. So far I've managed to cure a cat.
Yep.
From an old man, that old man on the screen there, and done a few deliveries, met a few people. I'm still trying to find out what year this is set in, unless I've missed it. Because it's like they've got like DVD, like not DVDs, videos.
If I remember rightly, it's like early 2000s, I think, or late 90s. I can't remember exactly at this point, but yeah, it's around that sort of late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I'm not sure I might have missed it when I was not paying attention or something. But yeah, you know what? It's chilled, very chilled. Like, you know, it's just, you know, it's a bit of fun. You know, it's easy going. There's a few good characters. I'm hoping that, you know, the more days go on, you know, because I've only been there for 2 weeks and I'm then day 4. So, you know, hoping more characters open up. You know, Angie seems quite cool because, you know, she's works the video store.
Yes, 1986. I was miles off, but yes.
1986. There you go. So yeah, you know, so far I can't fault. You can fault in 3. You can't win over people. But I guess that would be a weird game if you can't.
That's not really the point of it, but
yeah. But it's very chilled. You know, there's obviously no fast travel. There's some fast travel. You know, you can do autopilot every now and again, but it's quite fun. Yeah, I mean, how can I put it?
Something nice to just chill out.
Something not right.
You don't have to like. There's no puzzles. There's no stress. You just put it on, play for a couple of hours or an hour, or whatever, and then be like, yeah, that was enjoyable. Let's play something else now.
That's what I mean. There's nothing really to overthink or do. It's just follow the story and just talk to people, listen to what they've got to say, deliver through letters, deliver through parcels, and be done. The old ladies are
have you met Robert yet?
No, I haven't met Robert yet. I met the crazy old lady.
Pete has a strong opinion of him, I think. Great, what, the cat lady?
Crazy cat lady I've met. Someone who works in a shop. A guy that wouldn't speak to you because he was playing video games.
Yeah.
Angie girl. And that's about it so far. Have I met anyone else? No one else. Oh, yeah, and the old lady in the shop, in the diner.
Yeah.
Mo?
Yeah.
Mo, yeah. Mo.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was quite cool.
There's only a couple more characters, to be honest, but they all, I won't spoil anything, obviously, but yeah, it's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I was very happy to see you playing this last night.
Yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. You know, it's one. I didn't want something. I assume it's nothing that's just stressful. Not. It's just very easy going. You know, when you want to, maybe like an hour of just chilled out, playing the game, listen to a story, a bit like a choose your own adventure where you don't really do much. You just listen to the storyline, go along, and then pick a few choices. Whereas this one, you drive a car for a bit, or mail truck, should I say, for a bit, and then listen to the storyline, pick a few choices of what you want to say. I'm not too sure if the choices I say matter or it's just your personality. Hasn't really made that clear yet. Does it?
To an extent, yeah. I mean, there's different endings you can get, but I don't think what you choose up until the final day affects what options are available to you. I don't think, because I won't say much more than that. But it's more filling in the blanks really than
From what I get, I'm guessing where the two endings are going to go. The endings are going to go, should I say? But we'll see what happens.
The most important part yet. Well, actually, should I ask that? No, I'll save that. I'll save that for next week. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hopefully, you play some more. And
I'll try and complete this week.
I can ask you my question next week because there was a particular moment in one of the end of day bits where I was like, "This is my game of the year, definitely," and it just went back up from there. But I'll wait to ask you when you get.
Was it the dubstep bit?
Yeah. When the 1986 dubstep, they started whipping it out as she's driving around, but she's banging out the post vans bouncing and she's. Yes, I'm glad to hear you're playing a bit of Lake. We all love a bit of Lake here. Anyone else got anything on their list here that I'm looking down that they specifically want to talk about, or should we move on from here?
I completed the Pokedex.
Nice.
No, I said that would be interesting. Sorry, I meant to add
got
that part as well.
I've got 4 to go. I've got to get Gold Deno because I'm involved to look at coins.
Hate that one.
And then 3 more legendaries. So I'm laser collecting the stakes. So I got
4 that was the last. The ones I did was the fucking stakes in the ground.
Yeah, I haven't bothered doing that yet. So I'm gonna get Gold Deno, then I'll do the rest.
I have to ask a question, Ross. Not that I necessarily understand or I'm aware of what this means, but you've completed the Pokedex.
Yep.
So is that you done with the game, or is that you just done with that part and you've got to move on from there?
So the only other things right now for them to do is there is like an after game tournament type idea where you can just use it to get loads of money, loads of sort of experience and stuff like that. And then there is shinies, so you can go and collect like shiny variants of the Pokemon that you've already got, which are super desirable. There's online modes that you can sort of participate in, and then the other ones are the Terra raids. So
I'm addicted to them.
Limited time events where you can get like if you're battling like a 5, 6, or even like a 7-star raid, the Pokemon's stats. So not all Pokemon are the same. So if you've got 2 Pikachus, for example, and one of them's got okay stats, one of them's got amazing stats, that one will hit faster, hit harder, take less damage. Yeah, so if they were both like level 100, but one was okay, one was amazing, there'd be different like tiers in how good they are. The Pokemon you get from these raids are always like amazing. They've always got like either 3 or 4 IVs, individual values that they're called. They'll always have like 3 or 4 perfect versions of them, so they're really good to have in your team if you want to try and do it competitive. But to get them, it's a full-blown raid. You need to you can't just pick your favorite Pokemon and go and fight. You need to
EV train them.
Yeah, you need to train your like the most flexible type Pokemon. So you want to like get ones that take very limited damage off the most types of the most element types, for example. So you want like one that doesn't take much from water, electric, ground, etc., but does a lot of damage to those ones. Then you want them to have like hidden abilities. So there's certain Pokemon, for example. So the next one that's due to come out it's rumored to be a Greninja, which
it's not rumored, it's confirmed.
Is it confirmed now? So I hadn't seen it was confirmed. So he's a water type, but his Terra type is going to be poison. So you want one that won't take like. So there's certain Pokemon that has an ability called Water Absorb, so they don't take damage for water attacks, which would be perfect to go and face him, because then it limits the amount of moves that he can use against you. So then if you then get like a Pokemon that's got that also doesn't take a lot of damage for poison, it's the perfect Pokemon to use for this raid. So that's the end game type idea, the sort of the grind that you need to develop all your Pokemon for, and then get ready for the DLCs that are due to come out.
So one thing I've done, which is, I say sad but not sad, is I bought a turbo controller for.
I got the Nori. The Nori Joy-Cons, and it's got a turbo button. I was like, yes!
So one thing you need to do is, you know the tournament you're talking about?
Done it!
So what you do is, what I used was Fluttermane, level 100, I EV trained it, gave it Moonblast, and just let it run for a couple hours.
You walk up to the person that starts the tournament, you hit A, you hit turbo, so it just keeps hitting A. Yep. You make sure that moves at the top of your list, and you walk away. And all it does is it pretty much one-shots most of the things that are in the thing. You come back, you collect your money, it starts talking to him again, goes through the next set of opponents, you collect your money, your experience, you go again. Once you've done it and you're all Pokemon went up to level 100, you swap out that 5, put in another set of 5 that you want to get to level 100, blast it all again.
So
Jay sounds like Forza again, playing the game.
I was just thinking, I'm sure we had a game where you didn't play it and you leveled up.
Yeah, I swear you couldn't add Pokemon to the team though. I swear you had to do it all on its own.
Oh, I'm thinking the coins. That's what it is, your purse, and then you go and buy all your.
Yeah, because what I did was I just had Fluttermane on its own, give it Amulet coin, so it gets double the amount,
double the money,
and then I just left him on his own in the party, level 100, EV trained it with defense and special attack, gave it Moonblast, and then just sat there and it hasn't just won. I've got like 6 million, which means I can then buy the medicines to EV train them quicker. I
all
think
the herbs
going
and have you done the power? Have you done all the power equipment?
Remember we got Xbox Tavern After Dark, yeah?
Yeah, I was going to say you're regretting this asking that question, Joe.
A
Yeah.
little bit. But yeah, I mean, I must
I've
admit,
got, of course. But the thing is, I did it to start with, but now I don't need it because I've got 6 million. I can just
Yeah, you just buy the stuff.
Buy the stuff for it.
Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying playing Pokemon by not playing Pokemon, as you did enjoy playing Forza by not playing Forza. Graham, you got anything else you want to bring up quickly, or should we move on to?
Or do you want to ask a question about Marvel, James, just to see the look of regret on your face?
Absolutely not. I've learnt my lesson. Never
Also,
asking any question.
Is fuck Elden Ring. I'm stuck. I can't beat this boss. I'm not playing it.
Toys well and truly at the pram.
Fuck it, like these two gargoyles pisses me off. I can't even get one. I get one of them. I get one of them near down. The other one comes on, whips my ass, and just. But I think it's that I'm determined to beat these two fucking gargoyles. Well, apparently, I don't even to kill him to place the game. So, but I'm stuck. I don't know where the fuck to go next. So.
You can have one happy anecdote about it, Jay. The only thing on FIFA is the fact that the Team of the Year is
Team of the Year.
I saved up 200 packs for it, and I didn't get
Fuck
one.
all.
Oh no!
Got none.
That's fucking shit.
So for the layman, for me, for example, what the fuck is Team of the Year, and what are you on about packs?
The second best cards that you can get in the game.
So they're like super beefed up cards. Like getting one of these is almost like having an extra kind of boost to your team that basically can swing games in your favor. But yeah, they're basically the best 11 players that have played throughout the last sort of year. They're voted on by everyone that plays the game to see who are the best 11 out of the nominees, and that's who makes available in the packs. And just like with typical EA, you get packs by doing objectives, or you can spend money on them. And I saved up about 150 of them, and then got an extra 50 on top of that. Still no money involved, and didn't get a thing. Other than enough spare crap to sort of fill out some of the other challenges. So I did manage to get a few other decent cards out of it, but just no Team of the Years.
Well,
let's wait for Team of the Season
next time.
Yeah, always next time.
Always next time. Right, cool. Anything else, Ross, Ian, Graham?
No.
I can't talk about it yet. I've been playing another game the last couple of nights, which I'm very much enjoying, but I look forward to telling you all about that shortly. You will get someone else on there to talk about it as well. But
it might as well be that good, so I can't talk.
We should move on from there. Reviews we've got on the website. You can check them out on xboxtavern.com. As I said, my Chase and Static one is up. My Trenches one is up. I know which one I'd rather you read, but I mean, you can read both of them if you'd like. That'd be wonderful. Just don't play Trenches because it's
just for the hatred that you might dish out on it.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty nice to it in the review, but I could have been a lot harsher, but it's not good. And Darkwood was reviewed by Daniel, ladies' favorite. He whipped out a review early in the year. It's like a top-down, I think, survival horror type game. His videos, his YouTube review, is up now. You can go check that one out. And as Graham said, there's One Piece one up. Ian's working on one. I've got a couple on the go, I think. And Ross is Ross. So,
I've given you something to put up.
Yeah, only 2 months.
4 attempts to send it.
Yeah. So yes, we'll have something up from Ross this week. I don't think I'll get a chance to do it tonight, but yeah. So that's that. But if you don't want to read our reviews, which I mean you should do, obviously, because they're wonderful. Everyone's wonderful on Xbox Tavern over at xboxtavern.com. But you can check out things coming to Xbox's Game Pass, which apparently is the best deal in game, and I'm not sure if anyone's ever mentioned that before. And Ross, would you like to tell us what we can or cannot play?
I shall. We've not got much more left to come this month. We just got Monster Hunter Rise, which I see has got a lot of people sort of saying, "Oh my god, I've never played a Monster Hunter game, and now that this is a Game Pass, I've had a chance, and it's so amazing." And yeah, probably would be me if I hadn't seen some people have played that game for like 4,500-5,000 hours. And I don't have that lifestyle anymore that I can afford to throw that time into that sort of game where everything is about min-maxing and customization. And yeah, I've not got that sort of time.
Yeah, one of the guys I used to know when I worked up north, he was also a reviewer for another site, and he said he reviewed it on PS4 when it came out, or no, Switch, sorry, when it came out. He reviewed it on PC, and he's going to review it again when it came out just the other day. and he's put in over the 3 different versions. He's put in thousands of hours on that and the DLC and everything. He's like, I don't know if I can do it again, but I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I mean, the
yeah.
games look beautiful, and I've played. I can't remember the last one that came, or not the last one, because I can't remember how many iterations of it. One of the ones that came to Xbox, and it had like the co-op experience and stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I played that for maybe 15, 20 hours, and it was brilliant, and you could get hooked in it. But sack the amount of time you need to put into that to properly get everything out of it.
I did consider mention it for Project Game Pass, but I think that's one that's way out of our league. So
yeah. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. These are the ones that are still to come out the rest of the month. That's January 31st on console and cloud. And then 2 other ones, Inclinati, which is how did they describe it? Ink puzzler. That's how they described it as.
Yeah,
Which automatically made me think of Splatoon for some reason. But
it's got a sort of similar art style to Pentiment, but it's like a turn-based like role-playing fighting games. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, the art style completely put me off. Not for me at all. But
so that's January 31st as well on console and PC. And another one that's release date is to be announced on console is RoboQuest.
Nice. So a couple of decent games there to check out potentially. And obviously February, like we said, we've got things coming up like Atomic Heart, and I'm sure there'll be 10 ton of other things announced on Wednesday. But Ian, it's not all good news. Obviously, things leave. Is there anything that's left or is still to leave, this month, I should say?
Yes, we have a couple of games leaving this month. Actually, quite a lot of quick completions leaving this month. So it is the following. We have blah, 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 blah. I've lost my page.
Cool.
Good job, Ian.
The page is
Donut County's leaving. I know Donut Country's Donut Country? County?
Yeah.
County. That's leaving. Oh, there we go. Found the page. It is. We'll get there when it loads the page. Telling Lies, Worms WMD, and Taiko no Taijitsu, the Drum Master. Fantastic game, that last one.
I was going to say, one of your game of the years from last year. Telling Lies, I really should have got back to that. I don't think I'm going to at this point.
I did it, and I was like, I got to a point where I was like, I need to walk through for this because I got bored.
Yeah, I think the thing I struggle with them games, like Immortality, I want to start, but I know I'm going to struggle with that. Is it's not just like the Wales Interactive where you're making choices. You got to pay super close attention. You got to do a lot of digging, and although it sounds
remembering
I just
what
don't
to say.
have the time, at the minute to get into that sort of thing.
No.
Yeah, so things are leaving. Obviously, we get many more games announced probably on Wednesday to come into Game Pass and sort of the week after. But Graham, games with gold. Everybody loves a bit of free games. There's still some decent games that are coming up that you can pick up for free even if you don't want to play them right now. What would they be, please?
You have Iris Fall, which is available until January the 31st, and you now have Autonauts from January 16th to February the 15th.
Nice. So yeah, go check them out. Again, if you've got games with gold or if you've got Xbox Live, Gold Ultimate, whatever it's called. Game Pass, that's the one. I mean, they're free. You might as well redeem them and then you can play them at your leisure. But if that's everything we've got to talk about, I think that's another podcasted.
Boom.
It is.
Success. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me once again on Sunday night at 8 p.m.
Ish.
Xbox Tavern's Xpod Tavern 104th. You can find us, as Ross said, up top. All sorts of social places. Just search Xbox Tavern, Discord, Patreon, TikTok, all that sort of fun stuff. We've still got plenty of stuff going up on various places. And you can follow us at Xbox Tavern on Twitter. You can follow me on Xbox or Twitter at ENXAN. You can follow Graham
At Graham Reaper.
Ross
At Scottish Gruff.
and Ian.
At Nutty Ray. WRAY.
Thank you very much. We might see you on Wednesday. If not, we'll see you next Sunday for more chatter and reactions to the Xbox developer _direct showcase. And have a wonderful week, everybody. Be good to each other.
Love you. Bye.
Peace out.
Thank you for the dubstep.
And remember, we'll always light the way. All you have to do is let John Cena in.